This is the 2-9 Report.
Welcome to the 2-9 Report. I'm your host, Sam Madison. Man, I got a great show for you guys today, man. Unbelievable. Our first podcast ever right here at Nova in the Innovation Center on Nova Southeastern University. Man, before I go any further, man, I got to introduce y'all to my homeboy, my former teammate, Arturo Freeman in the building. What's up, Arturo?
Oh, man, I'm happy to be here. Like Sam said, my name is Arturo Freeman, former Miami Dolphin. Had the pleasure to work with my co-pilot right here, Sam Madison, the 2-9, one of the best corners I ever played with in my life, one of the best corners in the game. Super excited for this opportunity, Sam, man. This is something different. This is innovative. This is not another podcast. This is real football at its best, talking about the best conversations, a couple things that we kind of leave off of the platform, but why not?
Man,
this is
why
the 2-9
not?
Report.
It's the 2-9 Report, man. You never know what you're going to get here, man.
Sure.
But one thing I really want to say, man, that is, man, we're definitely going to have some former players. We're going to have current players. We're going to have, and try to mix and mingle a lot of different things. But we're going to talk all things South Florida. We're going to talk sports all across the United States. Man, listen, and even across the world, man, Turo, I've been paying attention to the Paralympics.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
U.S. just won the 100 meters, man.
Wow.
Back-to-back, 2 Olympic goals back-to-back. So
awesome.
We're going to talk everything, man. But thank you guys for listening. Great opportunity. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk a lot of different stuff. So glad you guys joined us. But right off the bat, Turo, man, you've been coaching the last couple of years. Where you been? And then I finally catch back up to you. We were at what? Flanagan's out just eating.
Flanagan's just out eating. Ran into my guy here, Sam Madison. Just a little bit about what I've been doing the last couple of years. I think we all kind of started around the same time when Pat went to Heritage. You went to St. Thomas. Jason was over there at St. Thomas with you. I was the long sheep that went over to U School with Chris Chambers, Channing Crowder.
Hold on, just right there in itself. Like I know when we coached at St. Thomas, we go everywhere, and I'm looking at 8, 9 former NFL coaches, and then you sit here, you name all those different things. That's why it's really, really important to hit on these things, because we're here, and all these former players, no matter where they played from, they're still here, and they're reaching out into the community.
Definitely doing definitely a give back. A lot of guys fail to realize what these NFL former guys are doing, and in this conversation, I'm going to touch on a guy later on in the segment that's doing great things. That just started, a former NFL guy, quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys don't understand, what the impact does, and a lot of guys ask me, what can I do next? What's the transition like? So that was my transition. Being able to go back. I started coaching high school football, where you guys started in the park, and I'll let you tell your story. I used to go out there and see these guys doing. I'm like, man, what you guys doing? I took the road of transitioning to training guys, working with NFL former guys, also working with college standouts. Doing combine prep.
Yeah.
So that was a great experience for me. I started that in 2008 with Bomarito, helping him build that whole side of things like that. So I started there. From there, I got into coaching 2011, 2012, progressed to 2016, 2017 with University School. Had a great experience. From there, COVID happened. After COVID, I ended up going to a local prep school, working there for maybe 6 months, just helping out, just staying in the love of game. From that point, I left. From one day to the next, one of our old former teammates, Reggie Howard.
Cornerback. Came from Carolina.
Yes. Reggie Howard was in the coaching ranks. He was doing something similar like to us.
And he was at Memphis, I believe, right?
He was at Memphis doing like player personnel, high school relations. And so we had a big conversation about, whether or not, you wanted to coach. I told him what I was already doing. He said, well, Tur, you want to progress to the college rank? I said, absolutely. Because I'm a big believer in, the principle's still the same. As football athletes, we're going to take one step at a time. We're going to dig deeper. We're going to start at the bottom.
Yeah.
We have no problem with starting at the bottom. So the bottom for us was high school. The bottom sometimes is little league.
Yeah.
If you can move a little league guy, you can coach an NFL.
Absolutely, 100%.
So, when I see the transition of yourself and Pat Surtain, that's simplicity, because I saw you guys move little kids. I saw you guys move high school kids. And I said, you know what? I could do the same. So in high school teaches you teaches you, a lot of lessons.
Yeah.
You learn if you can coach or not.
Oh, yeah.
Because the first thing you learn when you get to high school, you want to basically call out, cover 4, cover 3, cover 2. You want to mix and match coverages. You want to do so many things. And it's like,
over kids' head.
They looking at you like,
over kids' head.
What?
And the reason why I know where you're going with that is because you have a lot of these teams, park teams, and they're stacked. So you don't really have to do one thing. You just blitz everybody and zero coverage behind it.
Right.
But you've been watching college football.
Right.
NFL is about to get ready to kick off tonight, actually.
Absolutely.
They're going to go from one coverage to the next. They're going to show you one thing. They're going to do another.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's just an opportunity for us. Just like you said, we started in Park. I went out and I was over at Davie. I was coaching with Aronde Gaston,
Right.
Anthony Harris,
Wow.
Ed Perry. Man, the list goes on and on. And Jason ended up coming and coaching with me, and we ended up winning the Super Bowl. But just like you said, if you can coach Park, you can coach anywhere because you're dealing with little people, but yet and still you're dealing with grown people on the sideline.
Absolutely.
And that was one of our things of really, showing the parents and getting these parents to understand, bring your kids. We're going to coach them. I don't care who they are. Man, we're going to try to get all these kids on the field to have an experience, right? And that's where we started. But unbelievable, man. Keep up the good work. And, man, we always said it since day one. When you came in, you were like, Sam, like, that dude is a first round or a second round draft pick. Why are you teaching him?
Right.
Like, I don't care. You can't take the knowledge with you to the grave.
Right.
And I know
Right.
if I get injured, I want him to know everything possible so he can come in there and play with you and then just let the game continue to play.
Absolutely.
So we're going to continue to talk about all those different things. Let's set the stage, right? So we're going to talk about Dolphins. We're going to talk about South Carolina. You went to South Carolina, went up there. Here we go, about the game. So, all right, I know you was in the stands and they played pretty good, and we'll get it. We'll hit on some high school stuff, and then just go around the league. But UM is doing some good things. Florida State is not. Ooh, that's a little rough on those, but we'll hit on those things. But, yeah, man, we got a good segment and a good show for you guys. But let's jump right into it, man. When you talk about football going on, it's back. It's back already, right? You've had the preseason. You've had all of we're going into the third week of college right now. So, people are set. You go out to the sports bars, all of those different things.
Publix packed. They're getting the meat. They already. I'm coming home and people are talking about, hey, can you come by my house and do a fantasy league? Like, what? No, like
no fantasy league for you, Turo?
You know what? I've never done it.
Man.
I'm looking. I need to do it, but I've never done it. Sam,
Turo,
how about that?
Well, you know what?
I might need to get in yours.
I don't have one. Well, when I used to play on the Finsiders with Cope and Jesse Agler and all of those guys. So I don't know. Maybe me and you just have to get one.
Yeah, ourselves to see who wins.
Yeah. So listen, I've been challenged multiple times. I've been challenged by a dog, and I lost majority of the time on the bets with him. So, hey, listen, I'm not very good into it, but and the dog name was Max. So Max used to beat me all the time, but it's all good. But we're gonna figure it out, and we're gonna rock and roll. But hey, man, what you was working with Beacon out in the college, in the high school ranks, and doing some different things. How is that being able to get back out and just get back into and you coach a lot of these kids down here as well, but now you get to watch them as well.
Definitely so. I think last time we spoke just a minute ago, I was concluding from I did get the chance to coach at Campbell University for 2 seasons, 22 and 23, with Mike Mentor, was a former NFL guy.
Correct.
So it's truly about the love of NFL guys working together, showing that we can coach, we can assist these guys to the next level. Having the opportunity, as you asked me about, working with Beacon Sports. Shout out to Beacon Sports. It was a great opportunity. Got to color commentate 2 high school games in the Florida Showcase, the Florida High School Showcase. Talked about Teddy Bridgewater, Northwestern Bulls versus Coconut Creek High School. That was a great game. It was a great game, not because the score was lopsided. I think the guys beat them 48-0. But it was a great game in the sense of seeing what Teddy was trying to do. He was doing a lot of different things. The week before he played, he scored 40-some points. But you saw a quarterback's mind at work.
Yeah.
One of the discussions that I had with the Avi, the co-host there, was can these kids be able to adjust? Can they learn? Can they just receive what Teddy Bridgewater had to bring to the table?
See, here you go, right? So in 2010, I started 7-on-7 in South Florida. Teddy Bridgewater, Northwestern won our first championship.
Wow.
Man, and this was before he even know that he was going to Louisville, and I'm sitting, and, you know.
Your alma mater.
Yeah, and he was just sitting back there, and he just talking trash, and his head coach always said, because at that time, the head coaches, they couldn't really deal with the kids on the offseason. Like, we're talking totally different. We're talking about 2010, right? So the coach, he was just sitting in the background, and Teddy was running everything himself like he was the coach, because his head coach was sitting right behind him, and he was just sitting there. He was like, hey, Coach Sam. He was like, watch this. Everybody, 14 players on the field. He's on the field as offense. The defense is on the field. I'm on the sideline. He looks over me and like, Coach Sam, I'm going to look over here. The referee is counting down. And Coach Sam, I'm going to throw a touchdown over there in the corner. Like, man, hike the ball.
Right.
Down. Set. Drop back. Boom. The referee is counting down. Boom. He looks this way. Throw a touchdown on the dime in the back of the corner. Like, scratching my head. But this is what we've been seeing from day one. You've been training down here. I've been training.
Right.
This is the nature of South Florida.
Right.
And the thing that you hit on, you talk about, can the kids learn? When you make it fun, Turo,
yes,
you can learn anything. And these kids, they look like they're having fun right now.
Yes, definitely. So learning is learning and putting fun opportunities to the kids, allow them to learn faster. Making things easier, making it so to grab. You know, right now the kids learn by music. So they're repeating music. You know, they may not know this subject, but if you bring up a song, or if you put it on your iPod, or if you put your radio on, or if you put your phone on, they can recite every single word. So understanding that, I had to start to adjust. Like, okay, if these kids can remember all these rap songs, you know, maybe I need to rap while I'm talking. You know, maybe I need to rap, talk about cover 4, cover 3. Maybe I need to put it in a rhyme. But at the end of the day, what I did learn, Sam, was some guys are visual learners.
Yep.
And some guys are, I don't know the term. Correct me. Somebody see this podcast.
Yeah.
They calling
Listen,
it wrong.
like we're
no disclaimer. I mean, I am not the,
not gonna do it
the
all
psychologist.
correctly.
Right. So
but
disclaimer. Listen, some guys learn by visual. Some guys learn by hearing. So when you understand that and you are able to identify who's who, then you can be effective. You know, so definitely back with Teddy Bridgewater, I was seeing him being able to coach his second game in high school at the high school showcase, working with Beacon Sports. It was phenomenal. You know, you as a player, we're already pretty much good recruiters for one. So just, you know, college and NFL, because we know most of the guys we've been blessed to play down here in South Florida, be in Miami, and kind of like add to our community.
Yep.
You know, believe it or not, I think the team that we had from 2000, from 97, I think 97 era, from you guys, we get 97?
Yeah, I got here in 97. Pat came in 98.
98.
Zach came a year before us, and Jason and I came in 97.
The late 90s, 2000 era, I think we're all still friends.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know, a lot of people always say, you know what, you guys were just right there. You guys are New England. And obviously we see how that turned out.
And
we
the
close.
crazy part is when you're out and about and they was like, hey, do you still talk to Pat? I was like, yeah, I just was on the phone with him yesterday. What are you talking about? But again, when people move down here, bro, they don't leave. Like, it's not as like Green Bay, and there is no real, you know, community of football players or former players. Like, we have one of the biggest in the U.S. So we're always seeing guys, and you know that has been really, really fun to have those guys, because we always talk about the locker room, right?
Right.
I don't care what podcast you talk to. I don't care former players. The one thing they always miss, hey man, I miss being in the locker room with my friends, my guys. But we always have it down here. So again, just the other night, I was with Rondé Gasson. I was with Daryl Porter. I was with a number of other guys where we were watching our brother, Pat Surtain. They're not doing very good at Florida State right now. But it's everything. It's not just defense. It's not just special team. You have to tie it all together. But, you know, that's just the nature of South Florida and its sports.
mentioning Florida State and what my take on it, why they're not doing well thus far, I think you got a changeover of players. Last year they had well over 7 to 10 guys get drafted. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's the problem being good.
That's a problem. That's a good problem to have.
Yes.
But you have to do a very good job of the portal. I think they did a good job of the portal, but I really think it's just more so a really good defense is a good offense.
Yeah.
I had to learn that. We had a good defense, Sam.
Yeah, we did.
I mean,
We
the
did.
offense didn't have to do anything.
No.
But at the end of the day, we had a good defense that could score points and that could stop people.
Yeah.
All right. So, and can stop the run. So what I did see watching that game was quarterback play wasn't the best. Offensive line blocking wasn't the best. Defense giving up a little bit of miscues. They stayed in man. And, you have to – sometimes you have to respect the other side opponent and say, who's coaching over there?
Change it up. Switch it up.
You know what?
Switch it up.
Who's coaching over there?
And Pat is not the defensive coordinator.
He's not
and
the
that's what we
defensive
were sitting there
coordinator.
talking about. And they was like, Pat. I'm like, man, listen, man, that's not Pat.
That's not Pat.
No.
Pat brought a great element to – that's why they went undefeated last year.
Yeah.
He brought a great element to the old school of Florida State. They used to press back in
They
the
used
day.
to
They
press.
used to play man
And he
across
brought
the
it
board.
back.
He brought it back, and it stood out.
Yes.
I think he got defensive back coach of the year in the ACC. So absolutely, hats off to Pat Surtain. And you saw what element he brought to the game. But at some point, you saw that they watched your film last year.
Yeah.
And look an NFL coach just came from the Patriots.
Yes.
He's taking a Bill Belichick scenario saying, if they're going to send me in press, what I'm going to do? Misdirection, right?
Running, crossing routes.
Oh, all day long.
Running, crossing
How do you beat
routes.
press?
But then you go from week 1, you need to make the adjustment to week 2, and they did not make the adjustments. They took the same exact
approach.
They ran the ball down the middle of the defense.
Right.
And we talk about these kids that come from South Florida. Marvin Jones Jr. went to the University of Georgia. He came back.
Right.
Listen, all that pass rush don't mean nothing when you running the ball.
Straight down the field.
Running the ball straight down the field. And then a lot of crossing routes going across. But, they're going to get it back.
Yeah,
they're going to get it back on.
They have
They're
the
going to
talent.
fix it. They got the talent. But another team that we got to go on, we got to hit on, we got to harp on them because they look really, really good.
Oof.
The University of Miami. In Florida, Nat Moore is not going to like this. They didn't look very well.
Well, we're going to pray for Nat that he has a balanced season, that he gets kind of hope the Dolphins win a lot of games.
Yeah.
Because Nat Moore is going to be he's going to be sick. Florida is not looking like the Florida of old. I would say Billy Napier has 2-3 weeks that he has to turn it around. If not,
Because after that, it's going to get very serious.
Yeah,
he
I
got
think
7-8 games that it's no slouch.
They
You
call
guys
it the
wanna-
graveyard. The graveyard shift or the graveyard games, whereas why is it a graveyard game? Because you don't know who's going to come out of it. He's going to play some coaches, and I'll get into South Carolina, Kentucky, similar. They're going to play some coaches that may be in the graveyard shift, meaning the fact that they have to win. If not, their name may be on the chopping block.
Yeah.
I
That's
just
the
think
nature
there are
of it
too
is.
many good coaches out there, too many guys that need an opportunity, too many guys that can move guys.
Yeah.
That may
And
need
you
the
have
opportunity.
talent. Like, you can see the talent. The talent is up there. They have the talent, and majority of them come from Florida. Like, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching this game. Like, these kids, they play together from the University of Miami. They done played together at University of Florida. And then now they're going out there competing. Now they're sitting there scratching their head like, oh, wow, I should have went here. I should have went there. But they're going to be okay. They have a really good program. They have a really good system up there, and I think they should be able to bounce back. Is it going to be easy? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Because
But-
the expectation is here, Sam. Because
Regardless.
listen, you can't win 5 or 6 games and keep your job.
And you got-
now, do I think he'll bounce back and win that 6 or 7? But is that good enough for
But
you?
you have Alabama.
Right.
You have Georgia, and you can talk about Kentucky. They're always tough. But guess what? Kentucky came down here and beat them a couple of years where
Yes.
it was 20, 30-something years, and they finally beat them. Look, man, what was it, a 30-something game win streak that they never lost a home opener?
Right. They lose.
And then they got blown
They got
out
blown. They got blown out, Sam.
at home.
And it's the same kids that know each other. It's the same kids. So, we talk about the SEC football. Played in the SEC. Love the SEC. Love the new formation. You got Texas coming in with Oklahoma. So, the SEC now is definitely continuing to add to their powerhouse regime.
Yeah.
Before you know it, it's not going to be the SEC. It's going to just be these group of guys right here.
Period. Point blank.
Point blank, and this is who it is.
Good.
So understanding, talking about a lot of SEC programs, talking about a lot of the players that come out of SEC. One team that has jumped out to me, and nobody's talking about them, is the Tennessee Volunteers.
They've been consistent. They've been consistent over the last 3-4 years. They've been consistent. Right?
Josh is doing an amazing job quietly. Hypo's doing amazingly quietly.
And they've been coming down here. They've been recruiting down here as well.
They get one or two. They get some guys in North Carolina. They're going to get some guys in Georgia because they're positioned just right. They're going to get their kids in Tennessee, Memphis. They're going to get their North Carolina, the backside of the North Carolina area that's closer to them.
And they get them out of Kentucky. I remember we was getting ready to come out in 92 when I was going. They took Leland Taylor. We thought we were going to get him at Louisville, but he ended up coming back. But they're going to sit there. They're going to pick.
They're positioned just right to get a lot. When I played in the SEC, when they had Peyton Manning and all these guys.
And it's freezing on that water.
They had when they won this championship, the year I got hurt with what's the quarterback? I can't think. T. Martin. That's coaching now at Baltimore Ravens.
Yes.
When they won the national championship, then the guys on their team, their front line were all from South Carolina. Albert Haynesworth. So when I
was like, man, y'all should have came here.
Right. So that obviously, we talk about South Carolina. I had to throw it out there. That leads me to South Carolina. All right, South Carolina has a big game coming up.
Yeah, you were just up there.
I was just up there with Mom
in the
Dukes.
stand with the moms. I saw you.
I took some pictures. If you want to go by
driving down, and I was talking to you driving down the back roads.
Driving down the back roads, trying to find. Listen, man.
Sure, you know I'm from the country, man.
Yes.
Up there in Monticello.
My biggest thing: why won't we put any lights up anywhere, like in the?
Because there was nobody. You're the only one on the road. Why would they do that?
Right. Somebody told me, if you know where you're going, you don't need the lights.
You don't need them.
Right. And nobody extra taxes, extra money. I get it.
And then,
I get it.
Then you have the man above. He's guiding you down the road, man.
Thank
You're
God.
doing good, man.
For
but
sure.
Hey, we got to talk about University of Miami.
Right.
Finally found the right quarterback. Man, this kid, he's just calm. Like, he feels pressure. He's able to get out of the pocket. Like, he's going to have to stop throwing those back shoulder pads, even though Restrepo comes up with a lot of those catches. He ended up throwing one interception, should have threw another one, but they're doing some really good things. And, Jason is bringing energy. Man, he's got those guys coming off the edge, putting pressure on the quarterbacks. And the back end is doing good, but I think they need to get a little bit better on the back end. But for the most part, pretty good run game, passing game, offensive line. They look like a really well-ran football team.
I had an opportunity in the offseason when I came back from Campbell to go watch practice. Mm-hmm. What I did see there at the University of Miami was a unified front. Coaches really extremely stressing, his culture, his way of doing things. It seemed like you just put a bunch of guys. They got a lot of 5-star, 4-star kids from South Florida.
They did really good in the portal.
Yeah, they did really good in the portal. And I think that's what he's doing.
Portal.
He's saying, listen, you know what? Miami's already a hard place. We're going to coach you hard here. It's already a lot of high competition. So we're going to put everybody in this big old jungle, in this box.
But the other part is they're getting the top players out of Miami now.
That's what I'm saying. They're putting those top guys in this box, in this football box, and they're getting good results now. Yeah. And I think what happens, you got a great wide receiver coach, Kevin Beard.
Yep.
You have Jason Taylor. You have great coaches. All their names. And you have some consultants with. So he has a great staff on hand. He has the top recruits.
I'm going to tell you what they really have. The one thing that they have the NIL, man. Whoever that is, they do an unbelievable job down there, man. Even though they don't have a lot of space down there, they can't get their own stadium.
Yeah, the facilities are not the best, not the greatest, but
if you can match, like the locker room, they changed the locker room again. All the other little amenities, you built an indoor practice facility for these guys because, Turo, we didn't have the bubble. And Coach Saban brought the bubble the year after I left because he was out there about to die.
Right.
But tip my hat off to him. He's done a very good job in his career and ended up winning a number of championships. But when you look at just the South Florida landscape, man, we have all the talent down here. Even when I went to Louisville, over half of Louisville in 1992, Howard Snellenberger came from down here, University of Miami, put those guys on the map. Over half of our team was from Florida.
Wow.
So when I went up there, it just felt like I was at home. So
Talent's here.
Yeah, the talent is here, and they definitely and just getting ready for South Florida. Today is Thursday. Friday, you got games going on tonight, games going on Friday, but Saturday you got youth parks going on all across
Football
South Florida.
back.
Man, football is back, man. And it's
back.
just really, really fun, man. But let's talk about this Miami Dolphins football team. All right, man. They got the Jaguars coming in town. And Turo, we played the Jaguars a number of times. It's a rivalry that's not really a rivalry because it's in state.
Right.
So you want to be the king of the state.
Right.
This is going to be a game where it's going to be physical. And people know what to expect from the Miami Dolphins, but they don't really know much about the Jacksonville Jaguars, but they do have a really good running game and, a whole new defensive staff and the people you've been living under a rock. I'm on the podcast now. I'm not coaching on the sidelines. I'm not with the Dolphins anymore. And I get that all the time. Even now, I was with the Dolphins the last couple of years. In March, they brought in a new defensive coordinator. And this is the landscape of coaching, guys.
Right.
Listen, it happens. You see me, I'm not. And when you ask me, listen, I bleed orange, teal and orange, like regardless, period, point blank. So who am I going for? I'm going for the Dolphins, and I hope they go 16-0, man, 17-0. That's my team, and that's who I'm going with. But when you look at this team and you look at this game, it's going to be a physical matchup, and anything can happen because it's week one. What you think?
It's going to be, like you said, something you said earlier about it being a rivalry but not being a rivalry because it's in-state. For us, Tampa, in Jacksonville, being the three NFL teams here. Definitely a good running game they had last year. Great quarterback, the Clemson duo from Travis Etienne Jr. And Trevor Lawrence being back in full swing. And, quiet as it kept, Trevor Lawrence is a winner, guy.
Yeah.
Let's not sleep. He is definitely a winner.
He's
going to figure it out. I mean, I get it. I hate sometimes when some of these great quarterbacks have to go to where they position in the draft, have to go to certain teams. And they're typically the teams that are sorry.
Yeah, and they're thrust into a starting role. But the guy, he's shown toughness.
Yes.
He's shown the accuracy.
Yes.
Man, and again, been down here, done 7-on-7 between here and Georgia, Vegas. I've seen this kid.
Yes.
He doesn't get rattled. And still, he's not getting rattled. He just stands in there. He's going to take a shot. He's going to deliver ball downfield, give his wide receiver a great opportunity to catch footballs. But you're going against a guy like Jalen Ramsey. You better be spot on.
Listen. That goes to the roster that you talked about. Key. I want to just highlight understanding this matchup. Why this matchup is important, because what I see is trying to be done with the Miami Dolphins. I believe Teal as well, Teal and Orange as well. Being a former player, just being able to go to practice, and what I see is being kind of cultivated in Miami right now is a system.
Yeah.
A system. And what I mean by that, listeners, is some of our teams, our NFL teams, are going to be kind of one-sided in system-wise. They're either going to be really great on offense with the genius calling plays, and they're going to be systematic on defense.
Yeah.
Don't give up too many big plays. You're going to see they're going to win. Then you're going to see a lot of coaches coming in and out because they have to. Sometimes when you're a good team like San Fran, you're going to lose coaches.
Yeah.
When you're a good team like Green Bay, sometimes you're going to lose coaches. Or that whole regime. With Miami right now, we got some good coaches. So you're going to start seeing that. Not that the defense is less than the other. When you're the Ravens, you win, and you're going to lose coaches because guys have opportunities to step up to better their lives, better their families. So what I am seeing in the NFL trend is, if you're a good offensive team, let's talk about the Dolphins, right? You're a good offensive team. Let's follow the money. The money's on offense. They got three.
Tyreek Hill.
Yes.
Jalen Waddle. Tua Tagovailoa.
The big three. How about that? For the rest of the
big three.
The rest of the year, we're going to call them the big three.
Big three.
Because you know what? If you got to follow the money, the big three have to deliver. They have to deliver, period. It ain't no excuse. They have to
So you
deliver.
saw what I just delivered. I delivered when you look at the cheetah, and then you look at Waddle, and then Tua. That has to change. That has to be Tua.
Right.
Waddle, cheetah.
Right.
however that go.
Right.
So Tua has talked about all the good things. He's done it all. Now he just has to deliver.
He does. And I think what helps Tua, because every good quarterback has to be somebody calling.
Yeah.
Calling.
And Mike-
calling.
well,
and Mike does a great.
Yeah.
A
And we got to tip our hat off and congratulations to him. He just got a new 3-year
The Big
deal.
Four.
Yeah, the Big Four. He just got a new 3-year deal. Well
Yes,
deserved.
well
I mean, because
deserved.
this guy is putting up points. And that's what the NFL is all about, man,
All
putting
about.
up points. And you
All
talked
about.
about, Sam, we had a great defense when we played, this, that, and that. If we just had the opportunity to put more points, but you still got to turn the ball over and get the ball back to the offense
have
anyway.
to. You still got to do your job. And
You gotta do your
the
job.
systematic approach that I've seen the Dolphins take thus far, they got the big three.
Yeah.
Now you have a new defensive coordinator that came from Baltimore as a system. Now you one of the highlights that you kind of got to highlight and say, okay, hey, who's replacing Xavier Howard? Because Xavier Howard's a bucket.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's a bucket.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. Yes, but I understand why now.
Yeah.
Because if you have this high power offense, you gotta be. I don't need you maybe to pick that ball off this time. I may need you to just stop and make the tackle get off the field because
Correct.
there's a risk or reward when you do go for interceptions. I get it. I love it. I'm a former DB. I've been around two all-pro corners but what the difference is, Sam, I remember you forecasting. Hey, man, stay back here.
Because this is what's about to happen.
Right.
Yeah,
Because if I
and-
do forget it, if I do mess up, if I do take this shot,
Yeah, you got me. So when you look at it now, Turo, and myself, Pat, right? I was like, okay, I'm gonna do my job, my portion. Okay, Turo, this is what you have to do. I don't need to go and take a risk, but these guys nowadays, do you see them having the Instagrams, the Twitters, all of this, that like, oh, I need to be projected into this conversation on a consistent basis, so I need to go and try and make a play.
right?
I know I needed to go and make a play when the ball came to me, but I'm not about to just go and just leave my guy and just go and make a play here. These guys, they want all of the glory, even though they're still making all the money, they still want to make the play.
The self-gratification, if you trend it back, most guys first, second, third round, if you do what you're supposed to do, that's why they drafted this at this level, so that they can reward you with a second contract. You just got to show up and do your job. That gets kind of overlooked sometimes, doing your job. Like you stated earlier, you never tried to make a play out of the scheme.
Out of the scheme.
You
Out
didn't
of the
say, "Oh,
scheme.
I'm gonna do my own thing, tour,
No.
change it up." You're just saying, "Hey, let's be aware." We in cover 4. You got to be aware of the fact that, like Mel Phillips, used to always say to us, "I could teach you, I could tell you what to do, but I can't play for you.
Yeah.
I can't play for you." So you have to be football players. What I do see, and I mentioned Xavier Howard, great football player.
Mm-hmm.
What I saw on the defense is the fact that some things may be misconstrued because he felt like, "Hey, I got to make a play."
Yep.
I got to make a play. Whereas, and sometimes the plays, if you do your job and you play within the system,
Make
and
the quarterback
scheme,
look over there and he can't throw the ball. Then he come back to the second or third wide receiver. He's getting sacked. Bro, you just made a big play and you just don't even really know.
Know
You
it.
don't really
You-
understand
right,
within the
right,
scheme
the
of the defense until you
self-gratification.
go back and watch the film.
Yes.
Like,
So just like
oh,
you said,
man.
the self-gratification
Yeah.
is one of the biggest things. That genre, that tenure is starting to happen now. You got kids Instagram life. They felt agents that are, hey, you got to
Yeah.
stand out. NIL now, marketing, you got to look different.
Yeah.
But you know what? We always were taught the fact that if you do your job, you do look different.
Yeah.
You really do.
You stand out.
You stand out because there ain't too many
Automatic.
people doing their job.
Absolutely, man. So look, hey, this thing moved fast, guys. Hey, thank y'all for sticking in there with us, Turo. Hey, we're getting ready to wrap this thing up, but really, really quick for this Dolphins game, the top 3 things that you think that they need to do to win the game. Go.
First, timing on offense, quick passes, be efficient, catch the ball, block, run the ball very well. On defense, don't give up the deep ball.
Yeah.
Stop the run.
Yeah. Because they definitely going to come out and try to stop. They're going to try to pound the ball. They're going to try to see
pound the
our
ball.
how physical we are.
Key
We're going to be
departures,
missing,
they're gonna pound the ball.
some guys on defense, and they're going to be some plug and play guys. But for me, again, you talked about the big 4. Mike McDaniel's going to have to call a unbelievable game. He's going to have to utilize those guys. You look at the injury report the beginning of the year, it's all over the place.
Always.
So we're going to have to wait until Sunday.
throw you off.
Yeah, to throw you off. We're going to have to wait till Sunday and really see what's going on with the injury report. But Mike McDaniels, call a clean game. Raheem Mostert, you're going to have to be the guy because they're going to try to take away Waddle and Cheetah. I don't know if they're injured, they're hurt, or whatever, but they're going to try the Jaguars take those two guys away. All right, and then special team. Like, I don't even know what the kickoff rules are. Like, if we can break something, it's going to be fun to watch. And I'm pretty sure that these guys are going to be coming up with all kind of things because it's really new, right?
Right.
Nobody don't really know, Mike Weststuff will always come up with something, right? All right, on defense, again, stopping the run, okay? No explosive plays downfield. And when you look at from the secondary standpoint and the linebackers is being able to cover those intermediate routes because they have some really good players that can catch the ball, get upfield, and make plays. They're going to have to do some really good tackling. But I'm Sam Madison. Hey, thank you guys for joining us in the 2-9 Report. Turo, really great job today, man. This is our third podcast, and I'm really, really looking for many more to come. Hey, I just want to wrap up and say thank you guys for joining us for the 2-9 Report. I'm Sam Madison. That's Turo. Hey, y'all have a great day.